This text has already generated books, endless debates, and even heresies taught as biblical truth. But perhaps the greatest error in Genesis 6 is not in the text itself. Perhaps the problem lies in the method, in the rushed way the text is read. There are only 4 verses, yet they are treated as if they were an entire novel. Even with such a short text, many people speak with absolute certainty. The problem is that this certainty does not arise from what the text actually affirms. Today, the goal here is not to invent answers to questions the text does not answer. Today, the rule is simple. Let Scripture itself guide the reading. Interpreting the Bible correctly also requires knowing how to stop. To stop exactly where the text stops, without pushing conclusions beyond it. This limit does not weaken faith. This, too, is reverence before God. The world described in Genesis is growing. Humanity multiplies. Families spread across the land, and the population increases rapidly. Cities emerge, and social organization begins to form. But the text makes one thing clear: something is deeply wrong. Genesis 6 presents 4 clear movements that lead the reader toward judgment. First, the text describes the multiplication of humanity. Then it mentions a strange and problematic union. And all of this moves directly toward limit, consequence, and judgment. In Hebrew, the expression used here is extremely specific. The word benê means, literally, sons of. And ha-Elohim refers to the Elohim, with the definite article in the text. In the Old Testament, this expression points to celestial beings. The text creates a contrast in a fully intentional way. Daughters of men, in Hebrew, means daughters of humanity. The text therefore distinguishes 2 groups and does not use random language. The verb used in the text exposes where the problem lies. Literally, the Hebrew says they took for themselves wives. This points to desire without restraint, not to a covenant guided by God. In response, the text shows that God reacts to what is happening. The text itself states, "For man is flesh." The focus of judgment, therefore, is entirely human. The text also mentions the Nephilim, without offering detailed explanations. The root of the word suggests fall, but the text does not define beyond that. Then appear the mighty men and the so-called men of renown. Powerful and violent figures, marked by fame and strength. Throughout history, 3 main readings have emerged. The reading that sees celestial beings involved. The reading that proposes the line of Seth versus Cain. And the reading that speaks off kings and tyrannical rulers. The correct question is not which reading is more interesting. The question is, which reading carries more weight in the text itself. And the text, intentionally, does not detail the entire mechanism. Certainty. The text affirms that corruption intensifies. Uncertainty. How exactly everything happened. I do not preach as certainty what the text does not define as certainty. The fall deepens when boundaries are broken. God's judgment is not whim. It is a holy response to chaos. The text pulls us away from empty curiosity and calls us to moral responsibility. If this content helped you read the Bible more carefully, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who love Scripture. Before speaking, understand.